Gundam.tk presents Black Seravee. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, GundamReviews.net, and today I'm bringing you something that's not a usual review. I've already taken a look at the 1100, the Seravee Gundam, and you can of course check that out here or at gundam.tk. But today I'm taking a look at a painted version of the Seravee, which I'm going to call the Black Seravee or the Seravee II. The high-grade line from 00 has had a whole lot of kits, including variations. Most of them are, of course, just color variations or heavy weapons of the main four Gundams, but after the movie came out, Awakening of the Trailblazer, we were going to get Quan Ti, Zabanya, Harut, and of course Raphael to go along with Graham's, etc. The only problem being is that they had showed off earlier at one of the hobby shows that we might be getting things like a Seravee II, or other things like a Setsuna custom flag. However, with that not happening, I had to take matters into my own hands. And so I had the very simple idea of just taking a regular Seravee high grade and painting it black, so with the idea being that it would be Seravee II. However, the more that I look at it after the fact, the more I realize that it's really just more of a black Seravee. Seravee II really has some distinctive things down in the legs, etc., as you may have seen from the Raphael's backpack, and there have been some fantastic modifications, including in the hobby magazines. For now, I'll just treat this as a black Seravee, and I just thought I'd show it to you today. So the paints that I used were Mr. Color. I've got Midnight Blue over here, which is going to come across as being very black, and the reason I chose that is because that's the color that it says for Seraphim. So I figured if it's good enough for Seraphim, it's good enough for Seravee II, but then again, Seravee II is really more blue, especially when you look at the Raphael high grade. Here you've got some dark gray, which was the secondary color, and some shine red, which isn't the perfect Gundam red, but anyway, it'll do, since there isn't too much red on the actual body. With me being the lazy modeler that I am, I didn't tape anything off here for parts. I pretty much just went with the midnight blue everywhere, except just to have a little bit of differentiation, even though it's going to look plasticky in different lights. I just kept the existing black plate, which is going to cover the bazookas and the knees and the backpack, in its existing colors just to set it off a little bit. I went with some dark gray, which sort of gets lost down there, and thinking Seravee II, I went with the red waist section there, although really that should be fixed up and taped off if you want to make it look more like Seravee II. And just anecdotally, if you think that clear jewel up there is going to look pink instead of red, you'd be absolutely right, because a friend said, hey, I've got some leftover clear red, why don't you use that? And when I put it on, it of course came out as clear pink, so be careful and make sure you do some test spraying before you actually go do that, so that's something I'll have to fix up in the future. The clear green, though, worked well for the bazookas. Weapons out every once in a while, you can see where I've got some paint mistakes there, but overall the midnight blue, I haven't put any top coat on there, that would probably help, and the plasticky of the bazookas, but with the clear green on the parts there and the green seals underneath, I actually think it looks okay. This is supposed to be a Seravee II, it makes no sense for him to have a Seraphim on the back, but anyway, this is just to show it with it on, which of course is going to add some more armaments to the front there with the form of extra bazookas over the shoulders, which again, just adds some more visual punch. Instead of height comparison, it's color comparison here. This is the 1/100th non-grade Burgagiros from F91, and this kit came out all the way back in 1991, which is perfect for the movie. However, taking a look at the manual there for the paint guide, it says that the main color of this should be 100% midnight blue, which makes perfect sense for this to be part of the Black Vanguard instead of being the blue one. So this is just to show you that if you were to use midnight blue on a kit like this, you could of course do the purple up however you want, but it's going to come across as being a lot more black than it is right out of the box. And speaking of Zabine Charles and the Black Vanguard, here's the Crossbone X2, which is his successor suit to the Burgagiros. And you can see that with this, you're going to have a totally different kind of paint job. This one is very glossy and black as opposed to the midnight blue in its matte. And that's because when I painted this originally, I used Mr. Color Spray. And this is number 2 in the series, which is black and glossy. And you can really see the difference here between midnight blue and shiny black. So overall, this was a fun and easy paint job just because of the lack of colors there and the fact that I didn't even go over everything. The red is going to stand out, I didn't do the yellow, the clear was easy to do, and pretty much just one flat color unless you talk about the dark gray, which is very inconspicuous there. You can only see it on those 2 parts in the front. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. However, it's really not a Seravee II as much as I'd like it to be. So perhaps this will motivate me, and I've never tried modding a Gundam before. But if I bought another high-grade Raphael and another one of these, I could take them and hodgepodge the parts. especially the legs. Those are the ones that need to be fixed up the most. There are some differences too in the bazookas, and the chest section is quite different. However, if you took the Raphael's backpack, it actually has a bit of a chest section built into it. No joints or anything like that, so you'd have to do some pretty extensive motivations. But anyway, in terms of just a fun paint job, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out, and maybe it'll just spur me on to give to give it a better shot and actually make a real Seravee II. However, that could all be solved if Bandai was going to put out more Awakening of the Trailblazer kits. There's so many more, from the Jin 4's 2 sets in his flag to the Seravee II, that would really fill out the whole movie collection. Sort of sad that we only got the 4 plus the Graham suits, and then of course the 00, but they just added 2 gray parts for that. So anyway, maybe one day I won't have to be painting, but anyway, it was a lot of fun to give it a shot. Anyway, why don't you let me know what you think of this paint job and videos like this with a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on more Awakening of the Trailblazer kits and other kind of paint jobs like this that are pretty simple to pull off and yet can give you a pretty different effect. Anyway, thanks for watching everybody. Robert184, see you next time. What would have been even better is if we had gotten all of the main kits from 00 in SD. You know, they used to do it for things like G Gundam and Wing and stuff like that. I guess U3 just didn't stack up.